Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Handyman Business YouTube channel. This channel is all about making money, lots of money, for guys that are self-employed, fixing and remodeling people's houses. I've been putting out videos about how to get started in the handyman or home improvement industry. How to get more customers, how to make more money, how to charge more money for the same amount of work. There's been a few guys that have asked,
well, I've been in this business for a while. How do I get out of it? My back hurts.
I'm a late bloomer in getting my personal finances in order. So from about age 20 to 35, I spent every penny that I made on just having fun. I may share some of those experiences with you at the end of the video. I got a little bit of a late start, and I had to live way underneath my means to catch up. And I'm going to share with you what I did to catch up. Here we go. 3 steps to start investing as a handyman or a self-employed carpenter, painter. It doesn't matter. Unless you are in a large corporation and they've got 401k matching, this video is for you. Obviously, we are in a crazy time right now. Unless you've been living under a rock or a deep cave, the world can't stop talking about the stock market. It goes up, it goes down. We just had 2 historical moments, a historical sell-off and a historical buy-in, all within 5 days. It's a great time to get started. Step 1 is open a brokerage account. Fidelity, Vanguard, and Robinhood. I've used all 3 for your more traditional, safer investments. I suggest Fidelity. Something that held me back was too much information, too many decisions, too much research to do. And I got to a place of, I'm just not doing anything. This guy says it's bad. This guy says it's good. It's all over the place. Open a Fidelity brokerage account. Don't overthink it. Just do it. You link a bank account to Fidelity. They may have to send you something in the mail that you sign and you send back. Now you're set up to buy something. You do need some money. So that's maybe a topic for a different day, or at the end of the video, of how to find a way to force yourself to live underneath your means so that you have excess money. And guys like you and me, it's very hard. Once we get excess money, we want to put bigger tires on our truck or put a turbocharger on our snowmobile. Step 2 is deciding what to buy. I suggest ETFs. Think of it as a basket of companies that you buy into. It is a very simple way to have a diverse portfolio. It lowers your risk so that you're not just buying one stock or one company. How do you choose an ETF? This is for beginners. I suggest something that tracks the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is the largest 500 companies in the United States of America. If you want to take it one step further, you can pick a sector, a technology sector, an energy sector, or a renewable energy sector. I'll put a couple tickers up here on the screen. Yeah, ticker is what you're going to type into Fidelity to purchase. So you've got a brokerage account. You've got a couple tickers that you think you want to buy. When to buy. There are 2 methods that I suggest. The first one is called... Today's video is sponsored by Element. You heard me talk about this in our previous video. Element's an electrolyte drink. Why is it relevant to us? Well, we do lots of strenuous activity, and oftentimes we can get depleted of electrolytes. It's a sugar-free electrolyte drink. You can get it in a can. You can get it in these little drink mix packets. You mix this right into water. This one's black cherry. It's one of my new favorite flavors. So if you're into fitness, health, or working hard, increasing your intake of sodium can help keep you at optimum health. Drinking water is good, but replenishing your electrolytes is what's going to keep the fatigue away and keep the brain fog away that comes with a depletion of your electrolytes. I'll leave a link in the description, and if you use that, you'll get a free Element sample pack with any purchase. The website is drinkelement.com/handyman. Dollar cost averaging. Hopefully you've got your budget figured out where you don't have car payments, you don't have any payments, except maybe your mortgage payment and your cell phone and your basic utilities. Dollar cost averaging is when you set up a payment plan. I started out many years ago at $500 a month. Every month, $500 is transferred into my brokerage account, and it automatically purchases into different ETFs. Then I bumped it up to $1,500 a month, then $2,500 a month, and right now I'm set at $3,500 a month every single month, purchasing into different ETFs. That's called dollar cost averaging. You buy when it's high, you buy when it's low, you don't pay attention to it, it just happens. Just like your car payment or your mortgage payment. Every single month, year after year, decade after decade. That will get you to retirement. So the next phase of my investment strategy was how to take advantage of downturns in the stock markets. And in the last 5 years, man, we have had so many opportunities. It's kind of crazy. The big crash of 2008, I knew nothing. I had so many toys. It was ridiculous. In 2008, I had no money and no education on how to take advantage of the Great Recession. It didn't last long. A lot of people made millions. Fast forward to 2020, we had a big stock market crash because of the COVID-19 thing. I had a little bit of money and I wish I had more. So I set up a money market account where when I would get a bonus, maybe I get a job that paid a little extra, I would put money into this money market account. I wanted to build a hefty emergency fund. So it was less of an emergency fund and more of an investment fund for when there was a downturn in the stock market. It's not advisable to keep a lot of money or cash not invested. But in the last 3 to 4 years, interest rates have been through the roof. So I've been able to earn 5 to 5.5% in that money market account. So it wasn't that bad. I was able to tap into it in large chunks of money every time we had a downturn in the stock market. This past week, I just went in for $50,000. Tomorrow, I'm buying in for another $12,000. And I have a limit buy for another 10 grand if there is a 3% slide in these specific ETFs. That's what's worked for me. That's how I'm going to get out of manual labor in my 50s. If you're in your 40s or your 50s or even your 20s and 30s, you have so much time for your money to make money. All right, guys, put the cart before the horse a little bit. One thing you're going to find when you start making a lot of money being self-employed is the amount of tax that you have to pay on that money. So you're paying both your employer and employee half of your FICA. Some good ways to reduce your taxable income is to invest in a traditional IRA. So when I told you I first started out at $500 a month, that's where that $500 a month was going to fund a traditional IRA to reduce my taxable income. Fast forward a few years, income's going up. I started an SEP IRA. An SEP IRA is a simplified employee pension, and you can put up to 25% of your net income into this SEP IRA, and that 25% is taken away from your taxable income. So there's multiple ways to reduce your taxable income so that you're not paying tax on it now. In the future, I believe it's 59 years old, you can start withdrawing from that SEP IRA. The theory of how it works is you withdraw at a lower income, therefore you would be in a lower tax bracket when you start withdrawing your retirement funds. There is a long-term strategy for when you're really old and crippled from all this manual labor. And then what I talked about at the beginning of investing in these ETFs, that's kind of a short-term fund. You still need at least 10 years for it to work. Ideally, you get 20 years for it to work. So if you want to get out of manual labor at 55, you got to start putting in at 35. And if you started at 25, you're going to be freaking rich at 55 years old. The math works out in your favor. I had mentioned buying into these ETFs. What you're actually buying is shares of the ETF, shares of stock in all of these different companies, in case there was any confusion. So I talked about Fidelity. I had mentioned Robinhood. I have used Robinhood in the past to buy and gamble on single stocks. I feel like I want to gamble more because of how easy that interface on Robinhood is. I've bought and sold a lot of cryptocurrency using Robinhood, like millions and millions of other people. You can do everything that I had mentioned earlier in the video on Robinhood. You just need a little bit more self-discipline not to gamble on cryptocurrency or Tesla or GameStop or AMC. So one other thing that I've had to deal with is mastering delayed gratification. And like I said, in the first half of my adult years, I had no financial responsibility of taking care of other people or children or a wife. So I spent a lot of my money on things, mainly automotive parts, boat parts, dirt bike parts, four-wheeler parts, more boat parts. If you don't know what a boat is, it's a hole in the wall that you throw money into. So that consumed a lot of my extra cash. When I decided to get married and have kids, I had to cut it all off, and I had to detox from all that fun that I was having. That's why you don't see me with too many flashy things. Although these days, you know, having a 3% mortgage and paid off vehicles is kind of a flashy thing. But how long do you delay your gratification? I'm 48 years old and knocking on the door of 50. I kind of want to spend some money, and it's a balancing act, and it's a risk to start spending your hard-earned money and that compounding interest that you've earned over the last 10 years. Keep in mind, I've only been at this for maybe about 12, 13 years. It really takes a good 15, 20 years to see a solid return on your investment and to see that snowball start building and building and building. The longer you wait, the more money you have and the more money that money makes. That's why the rich get richer, is because they've got a lot of money to take advantage of compound interest. I don't know if I've stated this enough. I'm not trying to come off as a financial guru or a financial wizard. I am a handyman who has spent his entire life in every facet of construction, from construction management in residential to commercial to swinging a hammer, starting out as an electrician, doing roofing, installing cabinets, painter, you name it. I've done it as an employee, as a subcontractor, or self-employed. And I'm just sharing what's worked for me in hopes that it helps someone else. 20 years ago, the podcast hadn't been invented yet. The iPhone hadn't been invented. Android hadn't been invented. There could have been Facebook, but there was no free, readily available source of information on personal finances, how to invest for early retirement. You'd have to go to the library. And the biggest thing that we would talk about is that Kawasaki guy, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's been completely debunked, that the whole Rich Dad, Poor Dad thing, the whole thing is a lie, 100% lie. There were no dads. It was all fake. A lot of these financial gurus are trying to sell you a book or a course. I'm not trying to sell you anything except a caulk gun t-shirt or a caulk gun hat. Do I have my... Oh, it's like Superman. Got my caulk gun shirt always ready. There'll be a link in the description if you want to help the channel out by picking yourself up a caulk gun t-shirt or hat. They even come on in sweatshirts. If you got questions, put them down below, or you can hit me up on Patreon. I talk to guys every single day on Patreon. There are quite a few behind the scenes videos. I just put one up on the bathroom model that I started, and there's going to be maybe a couple on this next big project that's coming up. You'll see why once you get over there. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.